Let's listen. Okay, so we're thinking maybe, okay, here we are, we're getting to daffodils popping and everything, but here's also where there's a lot of fake outs, fake endings here.
Yeah, it'll speed up and build to something and then very quickly drop back down. But I think the speed of this particular movement also simulates the way spring, I feel like when it does finally happen, it happens in 2 days. It never takes a full 6 weeks of the season. It's like the flowers appear overnight, the leaves on the trees appear overnight, and this movement is all about the suddenness of that.
Well, and you mentioned that there's a sort of pulling the rug out from under you aspect to this. It has like 4 false endings. And he had this us versus them thing, the people he called the artistic Philistines. And we heard about how he had a sue to get his wife and crazy. What's he doing here with those false endings?
I think he's making fun of his audience a little bit. He definitely approached his music as putting himself on a pedestal, and it wasn't really his own responsibility if the audience got it or not, and so he's very willing to play these tricks in order to have his own fun.
Yeah, let's listen. Mm-hmm. Perhaps a robin? Ah, it starts over. Fran Hoffner, Schumann may have gone mad at the end of his life from syphilis. And again, reminding us of things without cures. He claimed to have heard angelic voices, one note in his head. Maybe that was tinnitus. He threw himself into the Rhine River and was institutionalized. His doctors prevented Clara from seeing him for 2 years until just days before he died. Oh, now
sad.
When you hear all this, yeah, it is, it's sad, but what does that add to listening to a piece like Spring?
It makes you really search for whatever joy he himself was seeking in writing something like this. He composed this symphony, in the year or so leading up to his wedding, possibly one of the happiest and most productive times in his life. And it's really remarkable to see what he was capable of when he felt like he was pushing towards something good.
Well, it's also a reminder of what can come out of a time like this, because he lived through a cholera epidemic, syphilis, mental illness, institutionalized. I mean, there's so many whiffs of what we see today. And we hear it in this beautiful piece, Spring by Schumann, through Fran Hoffner, our music opinionator. Fran, thanks so much.
Thank you, Robin.
You're listening to Here and Now.
Some people love public radio a lot, and I mean a lot. Like Matt Kulig, who loves public radio so much, he wrote us a song.
This song was a great way for me to say to NPR what I wanted to tell you guys. I feel like it would be horrible if you disappeared, and this is why.
People, I'll tell you about something we can't do without. They tell you everything you need to know, and you can take them with you everywhere you go.
If you wanted something out of the ordinary, that was what we listened to. And I love that NPR was in there, and I could always get it and get something I wasn't getting.
National Public Radio, baby, don't please.
Terry Gross. You could write a song to show how much you love public radio, or you could do something quick and easy. Become a sustainer. Here's how.
Call 800-533-9428 or go to WGCU.org.
So, Jack gets to the Children's Hospital in the ambulance, and the doctors take one look, and they realize this is not what we thought coronavirus infection looks like. This is not the way it usually affects patients.
I'm Michael Barbaro. That's Today on the Daily from the New York Times.
Tonight at 10:30 on WGCU, NPR for Southwest Florida.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the listeners of WBOR Boston and MathWorks, creators of MATLAB and Simulink software for technical computing and model-based design. MathWorks, accelerating the pace of discovery in engineering and science. Learn more at mathworks.com. And EasyWeb, creators of Easy Office Inventory, asset tracking used by thousands of organizations, designed to connect teams and their assets from tools to technology, all without spreadsheets. EasyOfficeInventory.com.
From NPR and WBUR, I'm Robin Young. It's Here and Now. Sports are starting to make a comeback. NASCAR racing again. The German Soccer League is playing games. And there will be live professional golf this weekend. One thing they all have in common, no fans. Mike Pesca is Here Now's sports analyst. He hosts the daily podcast, The Gist, at Slate.com. And Mike, we should say no fans watching. They have fans, but how many tuned in? We saw soccer and NASCAR televised this weekend. What were the ratings?
Right, no fans there in the stadiums. At home, we're desperate. So you read press releases from, say, Fox Sports saying a record for Bundesliga, which is German soccer ratings. And I said to myself, I didn't even know the ratings used to be so high that they were measurable, so I don't know how much of an increase you could document. But there were 300-some-odd-thousand Americans watching German soccer, and that's something. When you look at some of the other sports that Americans are more into and used to normally, you know, a UFC fight on ESPN drew very well, over 1 million, and the NASCAR race did tremendously well, over 6 million. So people are definitely desperate to watch some sports, and when the big team sports, if the big team sports come back, I think eyeballs will be on them.
Yeah, well, NASCAR, of course, probably the most popular sport in the country, I think, by some metrics, and you don't really need the fans are. It's more the roar of the car, but I want to know, what about the boys of summer? Any news for baseball?
There's a lot of news, and Major League Baseball has come up with a very detailed plan. It might be optimistic. It's good that they're working on it. In fact, it is so detailed, and we talked about this last week. It would be segmented regionally to try to limit travel, but they put out 60-something pages of rule proposals, and some of these were so fine and picayune that many players objected. For instance, rules against spitting. Yes, it's good not to spit, but what if someone spits in a dugout? Will they be thrown out of the game? Rules against third base coaches arguing with umpires and the distance they'll be. But the big thing is, even though they got so detailed on these on-field rules or the proposals, the players are a little worried about testing because there was no provision that mandated daily testing, not just many times a week testing. And then there's the other issue of money, which is that the players say, when the owners have a great year, we don't share in their upside. What we do is get paid a salary. So now Major League Baseball, the owners are saying, we'll split the very diminished proceeds from this year. And the players like, how come we have to experience the downside when the value of your franchises increase? We don't get a cut of that. And I think the answer will have to be, this is a negotiating position and baseball's not ready to come back, but America needs baseball so much that the players will probably decide we're going to have to take some sort of haircut on this, or else there'll be no baseball because players are insisting on extremely high salaries in a time of depression level unemployment. I find that untenable. So in summary, a lot of details to be worked out in terms of contracts, and also some of these rules we have to figure out how they'll actually work in real life.
Well, imagine that, how something will actually work in real life. Real quick, just in a couple seconds, yes or no, hockey and basketball soon?
Basketball might go with the bubble system, just Las Vegas and Orlando, all the teams there. But again, the virus has a lot to say about all of that.
Yeah.
Hockey, a little less certain.
Yeah. Mike, the virus has a lot to say. Mike Pesca here now, sports analyst, hosting the daily podcast at justitslate.com. Mike, thanks as always.
You're welcome.
It's here now.
A college in California has found a way to test all of its students for COVID-19.
Because I'm one of the students who would really like to be able to come back to campus in the fall.
But not every school has the resources or the budget to test every student.
We pay for all kinds of insurances, and in many ways, this is a similar kind of cost.
How can colleges reopen? On the next morning edition from NPR News.
Tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 on WGCU. I'm Jack Lepiar's. Worldwide coronavirus cases have now passed 5 million, with nearly 330,000 deaths. Figures from Johns Hopkins University count more than 1